A private prison group sues to keep public health teams from finding out if tuberculosis is spreading inside the ICE detention center.
We believe we have the legal right to investigate.
The Trump administration's plan for Colorado River water doesn't crack down on Colorado. Republican gubernatorial candidate Victor Marx tells supporters there's a way to funnel him unlimited financial support. Campaign finance experts say that's obviously illegal.
I cannot see any argument to make that this would be acceptable.
And Colorado's been waiting ages for this week's good news.
I've been practicing the Sesquisemiquincentennial for a year and a half.
That's tonight on Next. The private prison company running the ICE detention center in Aurora wants a judge to block a new state law that could let public health inspectors inside to see if tuberculosis is spreading among the inmates locked up there. Our Spencer Soysher explains.
Even before a recent case of tuberculosis at its Aurora ICE detention center, the private prison company Geo Group is suing the state to stop it from enforcing a new state law it says is discriminatory. House Bill 26-1276 adds on to existing Colorado law on inspections of detention facilities. It requires a minimum number of health department inspections, makes the facility pay for it, and can impose a fine of $50,000 each time access is refused. In court, Geo's attorney said the state law is discriminatory because it targets federal contractors. But the state's attorney countered that an inspection already happened at the facility this year, so it's clear ICE has allowed them in previously, and that Geo is just looking for a way to use the new state law to avoid inspections. Trump appointee Judge Daniel Domenico asked, "Should I make anything of the U.S. not being involved in this case?" Geo's attorney responded, "No, we have a right to be here. I can tell you the United States government is quite busy." ICE declined to comment on the case.
What still remains unresolved here is our ability to investigate a confirmed case of active tuberculosis that's been widely reported over the summer.
Adams County Health Director Dr. Kelly Weidenbach says her office believes they have a right to investigate the TB cases at the facility. They've issued an order to get in, but says communication with Geo and ICE has been cut off for a month.
I think some of the legal arguments in this particular case were pertinent to our authority. So we have been waiting for this hearing to happen.
So the judge has not issued a ruling yet, just checked. Cameras are not allowed in federal court. After the judge took the case under advisement, we waited outside of the court's only public entrance and exit to ask Geo and its attorneys why it won't let the health department in and if ICE has directed it. Representatives of the company's team made eye contact with us through its entrance windows before speaking with the court security guard and then turning back inside and not walking out for at least the next hour and change.
There's a second exit to the building, Spencer. I'll show you where it is later. You need a second person to cover it.
I would like to find it. I waited at that front one for a while. It's warm today. On
the situation about like the practical implications of this, right? We know that members of Congress can get in to inspect. Typically, public health inspectors would get in to inspect. So how much would really change with the new state law?
The real only change that the state was at least arguing today was that there is a minimum number of times that they're allowed to visit and that there is enforcement that they're able to do with it, like a $50,000 fine. Though we should probably point out Geo made a lot of money in the last year, but the actual change to the law isn't that significant, it doesn't seem. It's just an opportunity maybe to make those inspections stop.
As you point out, immigration detention, booming business in this era of America. Spencer Soysher, thank you. The Trump administration is out with its plan for the shrinking Colorado River, and it favors upper basin states like Colorado. For years, 7 states have been fighting over how to divide up diminishing water from the Colorado River. Decades-old rules for the water use are set to expire this year. If the states can't agree, the Trump administration gets to weigh in. And the Fed's plan calls for the lower basin states, Arizona, Nevada, and California, to make drastic cuts in the water they pull from the river over the next 10 years. Those states are likely to fight this. That could ignite a complex legal battle that will play out for years. The plan asks the upper basin states, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming, for voluntary conservation. Under this federal plan, the states would have to negotiate water management decisions every 2 years. Victor Marx, the Republican nominee for governor, has a running mate, retired Marine Corps Colonel George Washington Markert V. The choice doubles down on military experience and an outsider image. Markert is relatively new to Colorado, and he's sought but never held elected office. Markert ran unsuccessfully for the Republican nomination for U.S. Senate earlier this year. He did not make the primary ballot. Markert served 3 years in the Marine Corps before retiring to Colorado. He calls himself a, quote, constitutional conservative and proud supporter of President Trump's America First agenda. Marx's campaign announced the pick on conservative talk radio today and declined to allow Marx and Markert to answer our questions. The Republican ticket is a long shot in November against Democratic gubernatorial nominee Phil Weiser and his running mate, Jefferson County Commissioner Leslie Dahlkemper. Colorado has elected just one Republican governor in the last 55 years. Victor Marx, Republican nominee for Colorado governor, has faced attacks from fellow Republicans who say the ministry leader from Colorado Springs is a con man, a grifter, and a fraud. Marx violated campaign finance law by taking contributions that are over the state's per-person limit. And now Marx says there's a way for people to give an unlimited amount of support to him, something campaign finance attorneys tell us is unprecedented and patent.
We don't know the first thing about politics. Literally.
Victor Marx wears his ignorance about politics as an outsider's badge of honor. It's getting him in legal trouble.
I'm like, what's a given max?
A maximum donation.
Can't they just give us millions? No, it's $1,450. I'm like, how do you win with that?
Marx's campaign violated state campaign finance law by taking contributions over the limit. But now he says he has a solution.
Another way people can support us is go to victor2026merch.com. If they order merchandise, there's no limit on that.
That's right.
They can order as much as they want. That will really help us.
This is just patently illegal. Like, this is patently something that can't happen.
Mario Nicholas is a Republican turned unaffiliated campaign finance attorney.
This is many, many, many violations.
Marx is directing supporters to buy official Victor Marx merchandise from a new online store that has the same items for the same price as his old online store, but without the disclaimer that under Colorado law, each purchase is a campaign donation subject to campaign finance limits. That includes the $1,299 package that gets somebody a Zoom meeting with Victor Marx.
It's unusual. I don't think we've seen anything like this, at least in Colorado.
Chris Beal is a longtime campaign finance attorney who worked for Democratic Secretary of State Jenna Griswold.
Colorado is a state that limits campaign contributions to candidates. It does so because it wants to prevent corruption. It wants to prevent funneling money to candidates in amounts beyond what the voters established as the limits.
But Marx says there are no limits. If people want to buy a $60 sweatshirt, a $25 bag of Victor Marx Brew coffee, or that $1,300 bundle with the Zoom meeting.
As they say, follow the money. Is there any flow of money that's going to the candidate or to the candidate's campaign operation?
Marx's campaign wouldn't tell us whether the money is going to the campaign, right to Victor Marx himself, or somewhere else.
That Victor Marx has been called a con man before, and this is just one more con that he's playing on people. Only I think that the problem is he's going to get caught doing it. Marx's unlimited purchase merch store does not collect the information legally required to report the spending as campaign donations. A third campaign finance attorney with decades of experience in Colorado told me today that is a big red flag. The Secretary of State's Election Division would investigate if there's a formal complaint. For what it's worth, in our one interview with Marx back in May, I asked him if he understands why so many of his critics think that he is a con man and a grifter. Marx said he does not understand why. An independent agency will audit the Fremont County District Attorney's Office after they botched the prosecution of a double homicide case. Earlier this month, the judge removed Republican DA Jeff Lindsay and his office from the case after discovering a pattern of discovery violations. The judge also reduced the defendant's sentence from first-degree murder to second-degree murder. Special prosecutors taking over that case. Last week, DA Lindsay announced his office was implementing reforms, including the fact that he will personally provide oversight for the discovery process. Now, a former prosecutor out of New York State will conduct an audit to improve how the office functions. If this sounds a bit familiar, it's because this same DA's office in central Colorado has had similar sanctions in the past. In 2024, the last elected DA to hold the office, Republican Linda Stanley, was disbarred for ethical violations. It was 50 years ago today that the Big Thompson flood killed at least 144 people, one of the deadliest disasters in Colorado history. Decades later, the work continues in ways big and small to make that river canyon between Estes Park and Loveland safe for everyone who lives and travels there. It's work that's led in part by the nonprofit Big Thompson Watershed Coalition, the recipient of this week's Word of Thanks microgiving campaign. Their team and their army of volunteers work to mitigate the dual threat of floods and wildfires, restoring the river and stabilizing stream banks, making the Big Thompson more resilient to future flooding, and working with property owners to improve the health of the forests in the watershed, protecting properties and lives, hopefully making the next wildfire less destructive. That nonprofit, in about a decade or so, has restored nearly 30 miles of the river and worked with hundreds of homeowners to make their properties more prepared for floods and fires. The Big Thompson Watershed Coalition knows and respects the power of nature, but also knows that we as people aren't powerless to shape its impacts and mitigate its potential dangers. So let's help them complete more future projects to keep Coloradans safe. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word THANKS to 303-871-1491. We'll send you the link to donate. You know that $5 from a bunch of people adds up fast. That's how you've raised $19 million. And you know the deal. I'll never ask you to give if I don't myself, so I match the first 50 donations of $5 to get us going. More than 8,000 of you are currently signed up to make a monthly donation to the Word of Thanks Fund, which means you help every single cause we support by putting your info one time and picking a monthly donation amount to be split amongst everyone. It'll add about $40,000 to all 5 weekly campaigns in June. Xcel started burying power lines in wildfire-prone areas, including an area that investigators linked to the Marshall Fire.
The best way that I've learned to do it is to go Sesquisemiquincentennial. So just say Sweski. See, now I can't say it because I'm thinking about it.
Hard to say, hopefully easy to celebrate. Colorado turns 150 tomorrow. Xcel Energy is beginning a major effort to bury power lines in parts of Colorado prone to wildfire. The work is focused on high-risk areas that includes a stretch of Highway 93, where investigators say a damaged Xcel power line played a role in starting the Marshall Fire 5 years ago. Xcel settled litigation over that for $640 million, but has denied responsibility for the fire. The company dodged our questions on why they're doing this work there now.
I know Xcel has denied any cause of the Marshall Fire. Did that play any role in moving forward with more of this type of work?
Well, let me say this. As you point out correctly, we didn't start the Marshall Fire, and 90% of wildfires are not even started by utility equipment.
Actually, I don't think that we definitively said that they didn't start the Marshall Fire. We would defer to investigators on that who differed with Xcel's perception. Construction has already started on 75th Street east of Boulder. Highway 93 is up next. The work is part of Xcel's wildfire mitigation plan, which is expected to cost nearly $2 billion over 3 years. Doesn't help, Chris Bianchi, that it has been hotter than bejesus for the longest time around here.
And we got some numbers to back up the bejesus thing, Kyle. Yeah. You're exactly right. 28 days so far this month. Well, today's the last day of the month, so we're going to finish this July. 28 days at or above 90 degrees. That is now a new record for most 90-degree days in a single month in Denver. We are already at 39. We're on pace for about 60 days at or above 90. So it's been quite the toasty summer, but we're getting a little bit of a rain shower here, West Metro, courtesy to our director, Lawrence Gibbs, pointing out this rain shower moving through the West Metro area right now. This is a weaker one. It's going to be a fast-moving rain shower. Unfortunately, though, these are what I call airport messer-uppers. It's not going to be fun for the airport. Probably going to be dealing with some minor delays through the evening because of that. And then a brief shower, clap of thunder. That'll pretty much do it over the next hour in Denver. Southern Colorado, another flash flood warning for the Aspen Acres burn scar. But the good news is it will dry up there this weekend. Showers, anything should be done within the hour here across the I-25 corridor. And then high pressure builds in this weekend. The result, it's going to get hot. Exactly, I'm sure, what you wanted to hear. It's going to be up near 100 both days, Sunday and Monday. Tomorrow, it'll only be in the low to mid-90s, but I-25 corridor, Sunday and Monday, heat advisory in place. And that 7-day forecast, yippee, it's going to be 100 degrees Sunday and Monday. And then it cools down for one day on Tuesday before we go back to the blowtorch stuff for next Thursday and Friday.
It's the big 150 Colorado is almost 150 years old, so we're asking the party people our favorite Friday question. The Front Range passenger rail system is officially set to start taking daily trips between Denver and Fort Collins in 2029. The Board of Directors for the Rail District approved the launch date today. The funding comes from CDOT and RTD, so from you. Thanks. Under the plan, the train, recently named the Colorado Connector, they want us to call it COCO. See, it's got the little Dunkin' Donuts logo on it. It'll run 3 daily trips between Denver and Fort Collins with stops in Westminster, Broomfield, Louisville, Boulder, Longmont, and Loveland. The board is scheduled to vote next month on whether to refer a sales tax hike to the November ballot. That money would be used to expand the service to Littleton, Sterling Ranch, Colorado Springs, and down to Pueblo. When you turn 150 years old, you have had some time to prepare for the celebration. We found people all over town getting ready for Colorado's 150th birthday this weekend. They were happy to answer our favorite question of the week.
My good news is we're celebrating Colorado's Sesquicentennial.
My good news, like the pioneers and the people who founded Colorado and Denver, the Mile High City, we still have people that are willing to take a risk, come out to a mile-long table and eat at a table and eat dinner with people they do not know.
My good news is that I got to be part of Colorado Sesquicentennial and create this beautiful art installation celebrating the history of Colorado through poetry and connection and creativity.
Our good news is that we're here with the bouldering wall.
The climbing wall just arrived.
The history of Colorado is so robust, but I think to be a part of even a short selection of the timeline is incredible.
Our good news is that it's Love and Deli's 8th anniversary.
I'm so excited for the mile-long table, to join 5,280 diners.
It really is going to be a mile long.
That is crazy.
My good news is that I'm out here enjoying the weather today, and I look forward to serving thousands of people tomorrow.
It's Friday, and tomorrow is going to be an exciting time here on the campus.
That is good news, because when we sit down and hear one another's stories, that is when we are going to know we belong, we are seen, we are all human, and we are in it together.
Mile-long table, that's a cool idea. We are back with your feedback next. Thank you. Feedback from a viewer named Adam who says, thanks for sharing about Victor Marx's merch store. No, he's not the first candidate to sell campaign merchandise. When other candidates do it, where does the money go? Or is there a per-person limit? How is what Victor Marx is doing different from what other candidates have done in the past? It's different from what even he has done in the past, because the site does not say that a purchase there counts as a campaign donation, is therefore subject to the limit combined of $14.50 per person per election. He's telling people they can spend unlimited there. So the question is, where's the money going? Is it going to his campaign? Because there's a limit. Is it going in his pocket?